They've been called the Soviet blockheads, Russian immigrants who live at the beach, play on the sand, and flirt with insanity. But their journey to freedom is even more bizarre than they are.
You guys are? Red Elvises!
Igor's from Odessa. Oleg and Xenia are buddies from just outside of Moscow. And Avi, well, he's from Austin, Texas. Together, they make up the Red Elvises.
Well, John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
The story of the Red Elvises begins back in the USSR, with three boys from working-class Russian families. They all shared a love of music and a distaste for military service. Like most Russian boys, Igor was forced to serve in the Russian army when he was 18. He made the best of it by volunteering to play in the army band, but couldn't wait to get out after his 2 years were up.
It's like being in jail. I was still in infantry. They wanted to push me higher, but I said, I don't want it.
Oleg and his friend Xenia were willing to do just about anything to get out of serving in the army. Xenia claimed to be a bedwetter, and Oleg displayed enough bizarre behavior to earn himself a 2-week stay in a psychiatric hospital.
They said, you're sick, you can't go to the army. I said, yes, that's right.
Oleg, Igor, and Xenia didn't just want to get out of the Russian army. They wanted to get out of Russia.
I always wanted to go somewhere, and I chose to go to the United States. And the music had to do, I think it's a major part of it.
But this was before the collapse of the Soviet Union. Going to America didn't just mean jumping on a plane, it meant jumping through bureaucratic hoops. But one by one, they all made it. Oleg came over with an acting troupe and never left. Xenia and Igor say they filled out forms and stood in lines for 6 months before they were allowed to leave. Eventually, the comrades all converged on Los Angeles.
I came for a visit, and I guess curiosity, you want to see Los Angeles. Los Angeles is such a crazy place, so you could just go on to it.
They arrived with little more than a fistful of rubles, but within a few years they had shed their red for green cards, with the help of some new American wives.
This is the American dream, yes. Everybody, if you wonder what the American dream is,
this is what it is.
Oleg, Xenia, and Igor started by playing Russian folk music together. But that wasn't the sound they'd come to America to make.
We wanted to make something more accessible for American audience. Rock and roll. You go, you give people mashed potatoes instead of fancy, French cuisine.
In 1995, they met a drummer named Avi. He too had immigrated from near Odessa, Texas. He is an American raised on a commune in the Lone Star State.
My parents are the perfect yuppies. I mean, they're hippies, and I was a hippie kid. I had friends like Wind Spirit and Willow and Rain Crow. The Russian expatriates and their newfound American friend began playing a unique mix of music with influences from the oil fields of Siberia to the sandy beaches of Malibu.
I am a rocket man.
But when it came time to pick a name for their group, they chose an icon bigger than Lenin, more notorious than Stalin, not a czar, but a king, the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley.
I am a rocket man.
And so the Red Elvises were born. Today, the group makes their living playing the boardwalk and boulevards of Los Angeles.
like any other hard work, if you work hard, you get paid good.
Rewards for it, yeah.
It's like we're learning about capitalism. All right, let's load this baby.
For three guys who were raised under the oppressive weight of the hammer and sickle, playing the streets of America and cruising the city of angels is the ultimate thrill.
The Red Elvises have just arrived.
The Red Elvises played a game of Russian roulette. They came to the U.S. gambling that their lives would be better, and that gamble has paid off. Now, instead of drifting on the Black Sea, Oleg, Igor, and Xenia are rocking on the Pacific shore.
Rock and roll.
It's just the ultimate living the dream of rock and roll, playing our asses off, having fun,
doing what we love to do and enjoying ourselves. And thank God we get to make a living out of it too.